In this video, we are going to build our first web app with ASP.NET Core using Blazor. Hello everyone and welcome to the ASP.NET Core Blazor for beginners. I am Narendra Kumar Sharma, a Microsoft certified .NET trainer. Today we are going to build our first web app using Blazor, using Visual Studio, using command line interface and using Visual Studio Code. To get started building with Blazor, you first need to set up your development environment by installing the Visual Studio. If you are on Windows, go ahead and download and install Visual Studio from Microsoft's official website using this link. You can find the link in the description. For Blazor, all you really need is the web development workload. During installation, select the ASP.NET and web development workload. I already have it installed on my machine. Let's go ahead and launch it. Once you are in Visual Studio, we are going to create a new project. Search Blazor. Select Blazor Web App project template and click on Next. Give project a name here. Provide location for your project here. Solution name by default, it is the same as the project name. I'm leaving everything default here. Click on Next. Framework .NET 8.0. Interactive render mode. Default selection is server. We will see other options of render mode of Blazor later on. For now, leave it as default. Interactivity location is per page component. For now, leave it as it is as well. I'm just going to use the default here. Click Create. I'm just leaving all the defaults and go ahead and click Create. There you go. Your project is created in Visual Studio. Several files are created to give you a simple Blazor app that is ready to run. We have program.cs. This is the entry point for the app that starts the server and where you configure the app services and middleware. Inside the components directory, we have app.razor, which is the root component for the app. We have routes.razor. It configures the Blazor router. The pages directory contains some example web pages for the app. We have counter.razor, home.razor, weather.razor. Launch settings. This launch settings file defines different profile settings for the local development environment. Now let's go ahead and run it by clicking Start without debugging. And that will build and run your Blazor web app. There is our Blazor web app running in the browser. So once you get to this landing page, you have successfully run your first Blazor app. You can see we have simple web application with few pages. We have home page here. It has some static content which displays hello world, welcome to your new app. This page is defined by the home.razor file located inside the pages directory. Let's place browser and Visual Studio side by side. Open home.razor. This page title component sets the title for the current page so that it shows up in the browser tab. Now make changes in the home component. Building our first Blazor web app. Save it. and click hot reload button, changes are reflected instantly. We have navigation a menu on the left side here. We have counter page with a button that we can click and the count goes up. Click the click me button to increment the count without a page refresh. Incrementing a counter in a web page normally requires writing JavaScript, but with Blazor, you can use C#. You can find the implementation of counter component in counter.reso. This file is located inside the pages directory. A request for /counter in the browser as specified by this page directive at the top causes the counter component to render its content. Render mode directive enables the interactive server rendering for the component so that it can handle user interface events from the browser. We also have this weather page that displays some weather forecast data. Now we will see how to add a component. Each of the Razor files defines a UI component that can be reused. Let's add a counter component to the app's homepage by adding counter element at the end of the file. Click hot reload. Select home page. The counter component should show up on the home page. Now we will see how to pass a value to a component using a component parameter. Open counter component. Component parameters are specified using attributes which allow you to set properties on the child component. So define a parameter on the counter component here. For specifying how much it increments with every button click, let's add a public property, increment amount. Increment amount. Default value 1. Use parameter attribute. Change the increment count method to use the increment amount when incrementing the value of this current count. Increment amount. In home component, update the counter element to add this attribute, increment amount, that changes the increment amount to 10. Set it to 10. Now apply the change to the app by clicking the hot reload button. The home component now has its own counter that increments by 10. Each time the click me button is clicked, the counter component continues to increment by 1. Next, we will see how to build and run Blazor Web App using command line interface. To build and run your first Blazor application using command line interface, you will need to install the .NET SDK. The .NET SDK is a free and open source collection of tools and libraries. You will need to build and run applications using C#. You can download and install the .NET SDK from Microsoft official website. You can find the link in the description. I already have the .NET SDK installed on my machine. To verify .NET SDK installation, use .NET -- version command. If you see this output, you have .NET SDK installed. It should be 8.0 or later version. To create a new Blazor Web App, Use .NET new command to create a new Blazor Web App. -O option creates a folder for the project, and this command will name the project Blazor App. To run the application, first change the directory to the Blazor App folder using cd command. To start the application, run .NET run command. Copy this URL and open your browser and go to this URL. So once you see this landing page, you have successfully run your Blazor app using command line interface. Using the app's sidebar navigation, visit the counter page where you can click the click me button to increment the counter. To shut down the app, press Ctrl C. Now open the project folder and file explorer. Make some changes in home component. From components folder, pages, open home.razor. Let's open with Notepad, or you can use any text editor. Now make some changes in home component. Save the changes. So after making changes, go back to the terminal. Use .NET run command to start the application again to see the changes. Copy this URL and here is our text, building our first Blazor web app. Stop the application by pressing Ctrl C. We have another command, .NET Watch command. The .NET Watch command is a powerful tool for enabling hot reload or restarting applications when source code changes are detected. If hot reload is supported, .NET Watch applies changes without restarting the application, and for unsupported changes, it prompts to restart the app. Use .NET Watch command. The .NET Watch command runs the app and opens your default browser to the app's landing page. Go to your editor, go to Notepad and make some more changes in home component. Save the change and go to the browser. Changes will be reflected instantly. Here is our new text. After changing the source code, restarting the application is not required. Now we know how to build and run Blazor application using command line interface. Next, we will see how to build and run Blazor web app using Visual Studio Code. To build your first Blazor application using Visual Studio Code, you will need to install the .NET SDK, Visual Studio Code, and C# Dev Kit. The .NET SDK is a free and open source collection of tools and libraries you will need to build and run applications using C#. Visual Studio Code is lightweight, free, and open source code editor. This is where you will write your C# code. C# Dev Kit is a powerful set of VS Code extensions that helps you write, test, and debug your code as you build apps. I have the .NET SDK, VS Code, and C# Dev Kit installed on my machine. So this is C# Dev Kit installed in my machine. To create a new Blazor Web App, let's first create a folder for our project. Create new folder where you want to create your new project. Name it Blazor App. In Visual Studio, open the command palette by pressing Ctrl+Shift+P. Type .NET to see the commands you can run with C# Dev Kit. Select .NET New Project to create a new .NET project. Select Blazor Web App project template. Browse the folder location where you want to create your project. Select the folder. Now name this project Blazor App. Press enter to confirm. Select .sln solution format. Select create project to load the new Blazor Web. Enable workspace trust by checking the checkbox and selecting yes, I trust the authors if prompted to do so. Your project is created and loaded in Visual Studio. In the sidebar, open Explorer and you will see Blazor App and Solution Explorer. Several files were created to give you a simple Blazor app that is ready to run. So here we have program.cs, which is the entry point for the app that starts the server and where you configure the app services and middleware. Inside the components, we have app.razor, which is the root component for the app. Routes.razor, it configures the Blazor router. The pages directory contains some example web pages for the app. So we have counter.razor, home.razor, weather.razor. Launch settings.json. This file inside the properties directory defines different profile settings for the local development environment. And we have Blazor app.cs pros. This is project file which defines the app project and its dependencies. To run your app, from the activity bar, click Run and Debug button. Click Run and Debug button. To be able to run and debug, please ensure you do not have any files open at the editor. You need to select a debugger. Select C#. Select C# Blazor app default configuration. Wait for the app to launch in the browser. Once you get to this landing page, you have successfully run your first Blazor app. In the left side navigation bar, we have Home, Counter, and Weather menu items. On Counter, you can click me and the counter goes up. Weather, it shows some weather forecast data. You can stop the app by clicking the stop button. To rerun your application, you can click on the Start Debugging button. It will restart the application. The home page is defined by the home.razor. Under components, pages, home.razor. This home.razor defines the home page. Let's add some text to this file. Blazor Web App. Save this file. Run the app. From the activity bar, click Start Debugging. Stop the app. Application is running. Run the app again. And our new text is showing up here. Stop the app. You can also run app from the VS Code terminal. Terminal, new terminal. Now change into the project directory using cd command. Say cd and use .NET run command. Now go to this link, click this link, and the app will open in browser. Alternatively, you can run the app using .NET watch command. Stop the application first by pressing Ctrl+C. Use .NET watch command. .NET watch. Wait for the app to launch in the browser. Now from Explorer, open home page and add some more content to it. You did a great job. Save file. Go to browser and changes will be reflected instantly. Here is our new text. After changing the source code, restarting the application is not required. Now let's add counter component to the home page by adding counter element at the end of the file. Counter, save, go to the browser, and the counter component will show up on the home page. Congratulations! In just few minutes we were able to build and run our first Blazor Web App using Visual Studio, command line interface, and Visual Studio Code. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.